Everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not going to do.
This was the kind of pushback Caitlyn Clark's fans had been waiting to see from her teammates. And in Sophie Cunningham, they got way more than they expected, because Sophie wasn't just Caitlyn's enforcer, she became the fans' loudest voice and the league office's biggest headache. As the 2025 season rolled along, Sophie's tolerance for the league's nonsense dropped to 0. Every hard foul on Caitlyn, every cheap shot the refs ignored, every fine that came her way. Sophie only turned up the heat. She clapped back at refs, at media, at her former teammates, and even at the league itself. Nobody was off limits. And here's the part that should terrify the WNBA. This was only the beginning. This video breaks down Sophie's evolution from Caitlyn's protector to the league's worst nightmare, with each moment getting more fearless and more satisfying. But first, make sure you like this video and drop your favorite Sophie moment in the comments.
Just the competitor that I am. I'm fierce, I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates, stick up for myself, and so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and to be yourself.
That turned out to be an understatement. When she signed with Indiana, fans were thrilled. This team desperately needed what she promised, feistiness, a deterrent to all the cheap shots aimed at Caitlyn Clark. But Sophie brought more than fire. She brought something fans noticed immediately: authentic loyalty to Caitlyn.
I mean, you know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way.
She said it herself. She's changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And in the WNBA, that kind of honesty was rare. After a season where the media downplayed Caitlyn's impact, the refs refused to give her a fair whistle, and even Nike dragged its feet on promotion. It was refreshing to finally hear a player say the truth. Caitlyn Clark is the face of the WNBA. She's transforming it. And Sophie's honesty made her public enemy #1. It didn't take long before other players started testing her. In the preseason, we got our first glimpse of Savage Sophie. Against the Mystics, rookie Kiki Fenn took her down, and Sophie popped right back up, basically saying, "Don't ever try that again."
Look, you go down into the trees and things happen, and Kiki area Fenn right there, they had an extra little shove, and she's just like, what'd I do? Well, you kind of grab up, and then Sophie Cunningham pops right up and has a lot to say.
Take a look. Kiki gave her an extra shove, then played innocent like, "What did I do?" But Sophie jumped up with plenty to say. That preseason moment was just a preview, a little taste of what was coming. Because if a rookie could hit Sophie with no fear, what chance did Caitlyn have? It was open season on the Fever, and Sophie's role was about to become crystal clear. Game after game, the whistles stayed buried in the refs' pockets. Caitlyn was hammered with no calls while opponents got away with murder. It felt like 2024 all over again. And finally, Sophie had enough. June 17th, Commissioner's Cup, Fever versus Connecticut Sun. The officials let the game spiral out of control. First, J.C. Sheldon swiped at Caitlyn's eyes. Then, Marina Mabrey leveled her with a body shot. No ejections, no protection, no accountability. And that's when Sophie Cunningham snapped. What she did next instantly became legendary for Caitlyn Clark fans. For Caitlyn supporters, this was pure catharsis.
Mabrey. That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball, but...
That was a hard foul. Maybe you could argue it was a play on the ball, but finally, there was retribution. After months of watching Caitlyn get hacked with no protection, Sophie delivered the payback. A headlock, a shove, and a silent dare. Do something. Up to that point, Sophie had always been fiery, but this was different. This was the switch flipping. From that moment on, she played with zero fear, and it didn't stop on the court. At practice after the game, reporters asked her about the altercation, and Sophie made it clear this wasn't about one game, it was about something bigger.
During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, you know, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do, and I'm a team player, so it's all good.
She said it was just part of the game. Sophie had watched Caitlyn's mistreatment from afar. Now she was living it, and she'd had enough. That moment cemented Sophie Cunningham as a household name.
They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom! Wow. I love it.
Fans loved it. Broadcasters even joked, "I had no idea Sophie was a black belt at age 6. She was the one who finally defended Caitlyn Clark, and what came next was the ultimate display of the Caitlyn Clark effect. Fans embraced Sophie instantly. Her jersey sold out in minutes, her social media blew up with millions of new followers, and Sophie leaned right into it. She posted a TikTok with a Selena Gomez track winking at the J.C. Sheldon takedown. It went mega viral. Her comments were flooded with the same message. Thank you for standing up for Caitlyn. It was a multi-million-dollar moment. Overnight, Sophie went from a role player to one of the most marketable names in the league. But with every new fan came just as many enemies. The media blasted her retaliation on J.C. Sheldon, while staying quiet about Mabry's hit or Sheldon's swipe at Caitlyn. A Change.org petition even popped up, demanding she be kicked out of the league for unsportsmanlike conduct. And then came the WNBA fine, $400. At that moment, Sophie faced a choice. She could have stayed quiet, let the heat fade, and slip back into being just another scrappy role player. But she didn't. From that day forward, every soundbite was sharper, every clip was bolder, every word more unapologetic. This wasn't just Sophie playing basketball anymore. She chose war. That was the moment she became the WNBA's worst nightmare. Just 5 days after the J.C. Sheldon incident, Sophie showed up pre-game in a Barstool Sports Tres Leches shirt featuring her, Caitlyn, and Lexi Hull. It was another clear signal of where her loyalty stood, shoulder to shoulder with Caitlyn, and it absolutely infuriated certain corners of the league. People claimed Tres Leches, 3 Milks, was a jab at the Fever's 3 white players. Sophie knew exactly how it would be received, and she wore it anyway. And she wasn't done. On July 1st, Sophie took direct aim at the WNBA's expansion plans. She openly questioned why the league would consider cities like Detroit or Cleveland. The backlash was instant. Media, fans, and league insiders piled on. For a moment, Sophie tried to walk it back, saying her comments were taken out of context. But here's the thing. When you're dealing with the mob, backing down doesn't work, so Sophie did the opposite. She doubled down, saying what everyone else was afraid to admit. I'm someone who says what everyone else is thinking, not just about the refs, about expansion too. If you ask around the league, they feel the same way. They just won't say it out loud.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am someone who says what everyone else is thinking or talking about. Not just with the refs,
Did you post
but
that
with
after
Detroit,
after you guys lost?
with Cleveland. I want people to hear what I just said. I am the only one, but if you ask our league, they feel the same exact way.
The league feels the same way about the refs as you?
And Detroit and
Oh.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
And
Do
so
you want
now,
to give it one more shot?
no, because
Okay.
I said what I had to say.
Dude, go off.
And I'm not going to apologize because I fully believe that. Don't tell me that Detroit is more fun than Nashville.
From that point, the trend was obvious. Sophie was the one unafraid to speak her mind. And soon, the fines started piling up. On July 18th, she posted a TikTok lip-syncing to a Sabrina Carpenter song, not so subtly calling the refs useless. The video exploded, racking up over 1 million views in hours. Fans loved it, but the WNBA didn't. They hit her with a $500 fine. Most WNBA players, that's a serious chunk of their paycheck. But for Sophie, with endorsement money pouring in, $500 was nothing. Hell, Caitlyn probably could have covered it with the $11 million she pulled in during 2024. Instead of silencing Sophie, the fine just made her louder. Less than 2 weeks later, she took it up another level. On July 30th, Sophie launched her new podcast, Show Me Something. And from the very first episode, she held nothing back. This wasn't just a podcast, it was her platform to expose the league.
You have seen players in our league try to toughen up Caitlyn. We call her Cece. Cece. For even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And I get it to a certain extent. And every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But
Right.
there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and now being on her team and seeing it, I'm what are people doing? Actually, it's just too much, and
Yeah.
it's just. I'm over. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
No, that's so fair. Good
That's
point.
fair, right?
Yeah.
If I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much, she said. From that very first episode, no one was safe. Sophie aimed directly at the league, at players who chipped Caitlyn, and especially at the refs who lost control of that Sun game. And she called out the double standard she'd seen her entire career. Sophie explained, if that had been me, I'd have been thrown out immediately. But when it happens to Caitlyn, suddenly it's fine. Sophie dropped a bomb on the media, on owners, and on anyone who disrespected Caitlyn Clark. She didn't sugarcoat it.
There's a couple players on their team that are just do a little bit extra stuff, just chippy talking. You're a professional athlete. That's what happens,
And I
right?
feel like you see it more because people act like this towards Caitlyn.
Yes, 1,000%. So in The first half, the refs didn't call. Someone should have been thrown out, and the refs did not call it.
Correct. I remember that.
They didn't. And so I was like,
That
all
was when
right,
she got
like,
full body
dude,
chested.
by 3 people.
Yeah.
Like 2 people, they're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, if that was anyone else, I would have been booted out of the game. I know that for sure. I'm a little sassy, but like, so are they.
Your leash is shorter though, because they know.
Literally, I don't even have a leash. I just have a freaking collar and a hand on it.
Sophie dropped a bomb on the media, on owners, and on anyone who disrespected Caitlyn Clark. She said,
Damn it.
No, I think that's what from what I've seen
Yeah, what
in the
is
media,
the outside? Like the outside
the
view
discourse
of the
is
W?
like, why bully the person who is like not 100% responsible, but like has a huge role in growing your sport?
Dude, and it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
and after that, Sophie went straight at the refs. A direct attack that practically dared the league to fine her.
And I get
Yes,
it because if I was a ref, I know I would mess up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What call are you like bugged out?
All
on
of them.
most? Everything?
Like, it's just like they're just so inconsistent. Like, that's my thing. Like, if you're on the other team and you're gonna be finding the shit out of me,
yeah.
cool. But let me do it to
They
you.
let you, yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
want
Like,
consistency then.
yeah, like just give. And I think that's players across the league and like new fans across the country. Like, everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not gonna do shit.
By August 5th, Sophie revealed the league had hit her again, this time with a $1,500 fine. She said on her pod,
We were talking about like our first week, what people had to say. Well, the WNBA fined me for
No! You got fined for episode 1?
Dude, they fined me $1,500. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is just the beginning. I was like, you're kidding.
Oh, way.
I was like, I even told them, I even credited them that their job was hard. I did say that, and I said that I would
No,
not
you
be
did.
good at it. I
you
did say that. Like, look at the whole picture. What are we doing?
but just like she promised, that fine didn't shut her up either. In that same episode, Sophie called out her former teammate and mentor Diana Bonner over her ugly exit from Indiana, just 2 days before facing her in Phoenix.
She's towards the end of her career, so like, she deserves her flowers. She deserves to be happy. But I also think that if you're gonna leave, like, you're gonna have to expect getting bit.
Was there explanation when it happened? No. Not even privately? That's tough. And, yeah, okay.
It was clear Phoenix wasn't thrilled about Sophie's words, but this was her polite way of saying, "You're dead to me." Then came her boldest move yet.
Or just as an opponent tonight?
Yeah, AZ was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at now. It was good to see people. It was fun to play in front of some fans. But for me, I'm way happier in Indiana.
And that's just the second chapter of Sophie Cunningham's story. If you thought part 1 was wild, part 2 proves Sophie's not just protecting Caitlyn Clark, she's shaking up the entire WNBA. Every foul, every fine, every viral moment, it's only adding fuel to the fire. And trust me, part 3 is going to be even crazier. So if you're still here, drop a fire in the comments because you already know Sophie's bringing the heat. Like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next part of this series. This isn't the end, it's just getting started.